Welcome to Thoroughbred Racing Forecast, coming to you from fabulous Las Vegas. Thoroughbred Racing Forecast.
And welcome to the Thoroughbred Racing Forecast, Belmont edition. And we have the man with a plan, the dude with the news. I don't know where I was going on that, but nonetheless, we've got Mark Klein right here. Mark, welcome to the show, and thanks for being on.
Thank you so much again for having me, Trip. You know, someone once told me this, so Mark, you're so good at horse racing and handicapping. What's that feel like? And I always tell them I make up for it by being lousy in bed. Some days you get lucky, most days I don't. And I'm not a big gambler. You and Dennis you guys really play some serious numbers on these horses. If I got a $5 show bet on a horse, I'm soiling myself with anticipation as they load into the gate. So,
well, Mark, after 25 years of being a sportscaster in Vegas, I can say that every time I went to a casino to play poker, that everyone liked me a lot, and they all gave me their cards, said, if you want to play again, let us know. Is that a bad sign?
Yeah, welcome back anytime.
Yeah.
Let's talk about let's hit the Belmont here. What a fun.
Okay,
fun
let's do it. What do you like?
Well, there's some interesting things about Belmont Park as a facility. This year it's very different. They're going with no masks but limited attendance and a 3-drink minimum. The drinks would be $49.95 a piece, but they have to make money somehow, of course. Our fans also may want to know Belmont Park, the first private railroad in America, was built by August Belmont from his Manhattan office out to Elmont, New York, so he could go visit his horses. That's the first private railroad built in America. At least that's what he told Mrs. B. It's a huge place. As you know, Belmont Park's very, very big. Donald Trump could hold a rally in the grandstand, and Joe Biden could have one in the clubhouse on the same day, and Governor Cuomo could have his rally in the men's room because it would certainly hold all the fans he has left. It's that big a place. And so when you have racing, we have horses that might have traffic trouble in a race like the Kentucky Derby. You're not going to have traffic trouble. If you have traffic problems at Belmont Park in a 1.5-mile race, you could put Mr. Magoo in post position number 4 in a Stanley Steamer, and he wouldn't find trouble in that race. I mean, there's plenty of room for these horses to do what they're supposed to do, and that's a nice change from what you see in the Kentucky Derby. The horse I like, have a formula for the Belmont. It's BT plus 5WR equals 12F, which is bad trip plus 5 weeks rest equal 12 furlongs. A better experience for everyone. And the 2 horses that qualify for that, Rock Your World and Essential Quality, are my picks in this race. The horse I really liked was Rebel's Ransom, who got scratched this morning. He was a long shot race and Irish bred horse that Charles Appleby was bringing over. And I liked everything about him, including 3 workouts in 5 days, really to tune him up. But he came up with a hind leg infection this morning, so he got scratched. So what you hear a lot, someone say this is a great betting race. That's one of these gamblers, especially a great betting race. Every time you hear that, a 3 to 5 shot wins it. The 3 to 5 favorite always wins those whenever you hear it. It's become kind of a cliche, but this one really is. If you like a horse that's not one of the top 2 favorites, to front wheel and back wheel, first and second positions in an 8-horse field doesn't cost a lot of money. You can really bring yourself home a 3-figure exacta payoff with not a big upset having to happen there. That being said, the horses I like I like Rock Your World. I'm not giving up on this horse. I think he gets a good break and a good trip, which I definitely think he'll get Saturday. I think he has a high enough cruising speed to stay in contention. I don't think he needs to be in front to win. I think it helps him a lot, but I think he's a quality enough horse to be able to pick off some front runners if he lays 3rd or 4th. So he's going to be on top in my exacta wheel. I'm tossing a couple horses. A Hot Rod Charlie I'm throwing out, and I don't like Rombauer that much.
Really?
I think they're both as good as they're ever going to be. 3-year-olds, you get into June, and 3-year-old horses begin to find out who's still getting faster and better and who's done maturing. And I just get a sense with Hot Rod Charlie and Rombauer that they're as fast as they're ever going to be, that they're done. I don't think Rock Your World is at that point yet, which is why I like him a lot. I also think Known Agenda has room to keep on growing and improving. His pedigree says that about him. He should get better with age. Of course, I should too, but we know how that's working out. So I think the way I'm looking at this race, I'm going to put Rock Your World. I'm going to front wheel him on top of everybody in an exacta. I'm going to probably bet him across the board to win. I'm going to hit him essential quality in my trifecta part wheel on the front side with essential quality, Rombauer, and known agenda in the second slot, and essential quality and known agenda Rombauer in the third slot. I think Rocker World either wins or finishes last. So I'm going to put him in the top spot, but nothing else in my trifecta wheel. And that's kind of how I think this shapes out. You know, usually this time of the racing season for 3-year-olds, you're at the end of their Triple Crown campaign, and they all need the summer off before they start to get ready for the late summer classics like the Travers. But this year, it's more of a springboard. None of these horses, besides the top 2 or 3 finishers in this Belmont, whoever they may be, are going to be retired at age 3. No one's inviting these horses into the breeding shed at this age. The only chance they have to go to the breeding shed at this age, if they splash on some dry car and apply for the job, is Teaser Stallion, because that's no one.
I knew you were going somewhere on that one.
That's their only
had a
shot.
feeling.
Yeah. So I like this year that we'll see these horses in the Mid-America Derbies, the Ohio Derby, the West Virginia Derbies. These horses will trickle down to those, and they should stay in pretty good racing shape through the Travers. You don't have to give these horses, 6-8 weeks off after they run their Triple Crown series, because none of them have been pushed all that hard in that Triple Crown series this year. So that's who I like. So we'll see what happens. I'm Rock Your World was my Derby pick, and a nightmarish experience. We'll look for Sweet Dreams Saturday at the Belmont.
And what's the controversy we're likely to hear about for the next couple of days prior to the running of the Belmont?
Oh gosh, I love it. A controversy in New York involving horse racing, and Doug O'Neill's got a horse in this race. What could go wrong here? It's interesting. It's been so refreshing to look at this race without controversy. I haven't said the 2 words Bob Baffert once this week until this very moment. I mean, how refreshing is that to be handicapping a Belmont on terms of how these horses can actually run? So I think that the switch of Flavien Prat to Hot Rod Charlie off his Preakness winner, it's not really, he was committed to it. They say before the Preakness, I don't know if I believe that 100% or not, but that's what the current story is. That's mildly controversial, but nothing really. It's really all about the horses this week, was as it should be. And again, that is a nice change to see in a classic race this year.
Okay, well, you have been a delight all the way from the Derby, Preakness, now at the Belmont. We will keep in touch and have you back to talk some racing this summer, because for many people, as you move to, this series start moving a little farther north, we've got some great racing coming up.
Well, I'm sure looking forward to it again. I think the smaller derbies this year will be much more interesting, because you'll see all these horses in those, the Pennsylvania, West Virginia, Ohio, all these little derbies that they're very big at the tracks where they're at. I'm not going to disparage them, but interesting to see them happen. And then I'm hoping we'll have a Belmont wrap-up show that features me with all new furniture as a result of my winnings. So we'll see how that shakes out.
Some maintenance. So, good luck this Saturday.
Trip, thank you so much. Good luck to us all.
Okay, that's Mark Klein, and we'll be back after a short break. Dennis Tobler coming up to talk the Belmont.
When I'm at the track, I get all my information from the Thoroughbred forecast.
Well, Mark, as usual, with some great information and a lot of fun. He knows what he's doing, and I really enjoy having him part of the show. But here we are with the boss, Dennis Tobler. And Dennis, I think you need to work a little bit on being more assertive when it comes to delivering your opinions. Can you do that for me on this show?
I certainly will. I'll be precise and exact on my opinions.
Okay. Go ahead. Lay it out.
Well, first thing I want to say is we're very happy here in Las Vegas, because the restrictions have all been lifted. We're now in the month of June. We're 100% open. I want to congratulate our governor for doing a great job. All of the people in Las Vegas, 65% of those over 60 have now been vaccinated, which is a great plus. And even though we have people coming in and out of town at the rate of hundreds of thousands a weekend, we've been able to withstand this pandemic, and it sure is good to be coming out of it. Everything's opening up now. Let's host horse racing, sports, and everything else. kind of follows on the line, and we get back on the righteous course that we should have been on all along. I have to thank President Joe Biden too, because in 4 months, he turned this country around to where life is back to normal. So thank you, President Biden, and thank you for everybody else that's taken the vaccine, that's followed the guidelines, that's worn the mask, and helped us get to this place where we are. For the rest of you, evolution will take its toll.
Once again, Dennis, you need to be more assertive, but I kind of, sort of think I know where you came out on that one.
Okay. Yeah, it's great also to be able to finish a series of thoroughbred racing forecasts for the Triple Crown. It hasn't been since 2018 that we've been able to finish a full series. So our last show, the Belmont race, is a special show for us. We've had a lot of great talent on this year, and you guys, H. Lee Spencer and Trip Mitchell, have done a great job along the way. So let's get down to it. Let's take a look at what's going on in the horse racing world. First of all, we have not heard anything back from Churchill Downs on the second sample of Medina Spirit. Now, nothing needs to be said any more than what we've said on our prior shows, but where is that second sample? That second sample got Bob Baffert banned from Preakness, and they have him banned from all New York racing this summer. But we still don't have the second sample to prove that he did anything wrong, even though they claimed he did. So without due process, and with all of the rule changes that we're having now, we are running into some great big problems. I reached out to a friend of mine from New York, Sue Chapman. Sue is at Belmont Park. She watches the horses every day. She's in the barn. She watches them as they saddle in the saddling ring, come out to work out. She certainly has a backdrop on what's going on, and we will have different parts of her interview on more shows in the future. However, I did want to get this one piece in. She's talking about Monmouth Park now. Monmouth is in New Jersey. They're trying to compete with New York for the horses, but they put in a whip ban on the jockeys. Well, the immediate reaction was the jockeys boycotted the track. And you should see the racing going on at Monmouth with very few jockeys and with no whips in their hands. It's just like a kiddie carnival. And that's the latest problem. And I spoke to Sue about that. Sue, can you chime in for us?
It's my pleasure to introduce Sue Chapman. Sue Chapman has been a Facebook friend of mine on the Thoroughbred chat rooms for years. She's from New York. The Belmont's coming up in New York. So we thought we'd check in with Sue and give us some news on what you expect at the Belmont Stakes this year.
With all the crap going on with Baffert and this and that, it's just too much to manage all at once. And now we have to deal with the Monmouth Park situation, with the riders, with the whips. I even dug out of the closet my ex-husband's riding stick, because no one talks about riding sticks or any of that crap. When you learn how to gallop a horse, the first thing you do is learn how to carry a stick. And what they're doing at Monmouth is absolutely ridiculous. This is a traditional, here's the popper on the end. Can you see it?
No, lift it up a little bit. There you go. Now you got it.
All right, there's the popper on the end, okay? It's just leather. It's sewn closed. Here's the stick. They're always wrapped in tape, okay? So this one is yellow and green tape, and then there's the rubber handle that you hold it with, and you go whap, 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 and you flicker it, and you see Jack spinning the whip all the time. This is not a serious weapon. Riders are trained with sticks, and the horses know that you have one in your hand and you can tap them on the shoulder in front of your iron with your boot in it, and just to get their attention or whatever.
So I want to say thank you one more time, Sue. And I will stay in touch with you, and everything you gave us was fantastic.
Thank you so much for the invitation. I'm thrilled. Have a great evening. Bye-bye.
I want to remind everyone that Sue Chapman is right there on the grounds at Belmont Park. So here are her selections, and please take them seriously when you consider these into your tickets. Thank you very much, Sue. We'll have more from you on later shows.
Okay, Dennis, good commentary there, and love the fact that some of our guests, we've had a guest right in Louisville at Churchill Downs, and now we've got someone out at Belmont. We're doing well. And after what you and Mark said about the folks in Maryland, I don't think we'll ever have a correspondent in the at the next Preakness. I think we will be banned for life. But
I'm not sure there'll be another Preakness, and if there is another Preakness, I'm not sure it'll be in New Jersey, or I mean Maryland,
Maryland,
or
okay.
New Jersey, or New York. I don't know.
So you're very opinionated, but let's get to your picks for the Belmont. You're excited, and just want to let everyone know you made a lot of money on the Preakness, and you know what's your thinking this time around, and how can we make some of our viewers some money?
Well, I think we can make some money for the viewers very simply this time around. It's all California horses. The first 4 horses that finish in the race will be from California. So you can kind of box them up and be safe. However, I'm going to go for the longest shot on the morning line of those 4 horses. I can't believe Rock Your World is at 9-2. Rock Your World is my pick to win. I think Rock Your World with the outside post is just going to trail any early speed. He's going to stay on the outside out of trouble. And I'm telling you, the way he finished at Santa Anita in the Santa Anita Derby, if he has a clear run at Belmont, he will be right on the front end with the lead horses. And as they head for home, he'll separate himself away from them. I'm going Rock Your World. I'm going to bet it to win big. I'm going to put it on top in all of my exotic plays, my vertical plays. Pick 3s, pick 4s, pick 5s, etc. And then I'm going to be making some other selections to go along with Rock Your World. I think it's Rock Your World, Hot Rod Charlie, and Essential Quality. That's the first 3 I think are coming in. So I'm going to bet a straight trifecta for $100. And I hope that Rock Your World, the longest odd horse, comes in again. If I hit that straight trifecta for $100, I'll probably pay 50 times 70, I don't know. So that's $3,500. So anyway, that's how I'm going to build it out. I'm taking Rock Your World, putting him on top. I'm going to use Essential Quality, Ron Bauer, and Hot Rod Charlie in the 2nd and 3rd positions, and the 4th positions for the Superfectas. I may even bet a straight Superfecta and throw in Ron Bauer in the 4th spot. But as far as I'm concerned, it's Rock Your World, Hot Rod Charlie, Essential Quality, and Ron Bauer. 1, 2, 3, 4 in the Belmont.
Okay, Dennis, thank you so much. We have had so much fun for the last, we did a pre-show for the Derby, a post-show, pre-show for the Preakness, post-show. We'll come back and do one more post-Belmont, but this has been a lot of fun. I know that you've assembled a great crew of characters, and boy, you know, it's funny when the Derby, you know, it's spring when the Derby gets off, and you know it's summer when the Belmont runs. So we're feeling really good about that, and excited for you in Vegas, getting everything back together again.
Yeah, let's get some more pricks from Fred Wallin in LA and see what the opinion is on the West Coast.
Be sure and check us out and like us on Facebook at Thoroughbred Racing Forecast. We'll have photos of the shoot and a lot of information. So check us out on Facebook at Thoroughbred Racing Forecast.
Now we get a chance to dissect one of the great sports minds of all time. This is the gentleman who brought us a theory that horses that begin with the letter S have a great shot at the Derby. He's a guy that I used to work with. He was our superstar when sports radio first went national. Fred Wallin. Fred, welcome to the show. Good to see you.
We're talking way back to the American Sports Radio Network, the Sports Radio Network. That was a ball, most of it from Las Vegas, and it was a total kick, was it not?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Well, let's get to some serious business. How are we going to make money this weekend?
Well, I don't know if you're going to make money betting on the favorite, although look, Essential Quality has done nothing wrong. 5 for 5 going in the Kentucky Derby. Had a bad race. Everybody, if you watch the race on tape, he lost 5 or 6 lengths, and he only lost by a length, and he finished 4th. So if you're going to bet an exacta or trifecta, superfecta, you have to put Essential Quality in there straight up 2-1. I mean, it's, you know, it's tough to beat 7 other horses, but I bet a lot of exactas and things like that. I've got to put them in there. And again, in the second position, not as good as the first position for sure, but second position isn't horrible. You got Rock the World in the 7th slot, and there's a horse that probably will go near the front or will lead. And if you've got Essential Quality chasing, maybe they'll go down to the wire. It's a long wire, 1.5 miles for the Belmont. And then maybe you get the 3 or the 4 horse in there and you bet a Exacta or Superfecta and you can make some bucks. But even Rock Your World is only, I think 4-1 or 9-2. You're not going to get big numbers on it, but maybe you can make a few bucks. And Rock the World is interesting because he didn't race at all as a 2-year-old. So just like if you've never done a show, I've never done a show, you got to give us some shots. Okay, so he ran a horrible Kentucky Derby race, finished 17th, but he hasn't run a lot of races. It looks like he's got a lot of quality. And if he can get out in front or near the front and not run too fast, I think he's got a shot to end up first or second. And again, in the Exacta or Trifecta, I think Rock Your World's got a shot.
No, I agree with you, Fred. Matter of fact, I said that it'll all be 4 California horses coming into the Superfecta in this race. It looks to me like Essential Quality, even though the morning line makes Essential Quality the favorite, I don't think he's going to go off the favorite. I think Hot Rod Charlie or Rombauer. I hear Rombauer's getting a lot of respect back east, so one of them too. But at any rate, there's 4 horses there that the odds are going to be spread out between. So boxing them up and putting them on top in your verticals is not going to hurt, because if you hit it, there's enough money in these big pools that it's going to pay something.
Yeah, I mean, again, straight up, no, but I think you've got to bet the Exacta and the exotic type races, and I think that's what I would be doing, and you'd be doing, and I think thousands around America will be doing. And the only thought about it is that again, folks, we're taping this earlier in the week, so we don't know about the rain possibility. The weatherman says it should be clear, but the weatherman has been known to be wrong. Mother Nature is a major favorite over the weatherman in most cases. In fact, I give 1 to 2 odds on Mother Nature. So I hope it doesn't rain. Hope we get a straight race with no problems, no bumping, only 8 horses, which is a lot easier than 19 that ran in the Kentucky Derby, of course. And Belmont's going back to its regular 1.5 miles, which we all used to love, and happy for that.
Well, we're happy to see things are opening back up. Vegas is opened up. It's June. We're 100% open now. I think California is going to be open the 15th of June. And it's just great to see everybody come back. And so glad that you were able to be on all of these shows with us, Fred. You bring immense talent and background and respect. So we really appreciate your input and you being on. Thank you.
Let me just add this one thing. While all this has been going on over the last 5 weeks, Bob Baffert has won 5 stakes races at Santa Anita, including the Gold Cup. I don't know what that says. I don't know if that's fair. I don't know if that's ethical. All I know is hopefully by next summer, we're going to have a national oversight situation where individual states aren't going to be able to pick and choose who's being honest and who's not being honest. That's all.
Right. Earlier in the show, we did discuss a little bit. We still haven't had the Medina Spirit second blood test back. We know that Bob's been banned at Pimlico. Now he's banned in New York. And yes, the reason he's out here racing is the only place he can race. But the problem is this. All these new rules and regulations everywhere. And I'm going to leave you with a question here, but these rules and regulations are ruining horse racing, because there were 3 $300,000 races at Santa Anita this weekend, and they only had 4 and 5 horses in the field. That's because PETA got involved and made them take Lasix away from those horses. So those older horses that have been running on Lasix, like the one Peter Miller has, I can't think of his name right off the bat, CJ something, won the last 2 Breeders' Cup sprints. He had to move him from California, where there's a no Lasix rule, to Lone Star Park in Texas to get a race into him, which is ridiculous for the ownership, for the trainers, for the horse, for everybody. It doesn't do them any good. They need the Lasix so they don't bleed, while they're breathing. So there's one instance of it. Then we've got the Churchill Downs situation where they don't even know what they're doing. And then the last thing that we talked about on the show is Monmouth Park, of all places in New Jersey, has banned whips by the jockeys. The jockeys came back and boycotted Monmouth Park. Monmouth says, if you don't ride here Friday, you don't ride here the whole meet. So you ought to see what that Monmouth Park meet looks like with them running in the mud with no sticks on those horses. It's not a horse race. It's not going to work. So you're absolutely right. We've got to get something pulled together. And what's your comment on the jockeys boycotting Monmouth Park because they won't allow them to use a stick?
Well, maybe you can limit the number of times you hit a horse, but to say no
Way you just
continually, I think is getting a little bit way out there. And let me just show you something here. Every time something like this occurs in horse racing, and again, as indicated, I started following it, I swear to you, at the age of 6 when my parents took me to Hollywood Park from Culver City, California. Folks, my racing heart, Nan Mooney wrote this 20 years ago. Every time your heart bleeds for horse racing and you get worried about it, read this book and you'll tear up a little bit, because horse racing has meant a great deal to this country. And again, you want to protect the horses all you can. My wife and I are involved in all kinds of animal protection situations and groups and whatever, but also you got to be safe for the horses, you got to be safe for the jockeys. But I just wish that we could just have some fun with it again. And the average age is like your age, you're an old man. We got to lower your age. We got to get 25-year-old kids at the track. And the only way we can do that is no more Bob Baffert situations and no more crazy rules. And maybe the government overriding it all can just set rules for everybody that almost everybody could be happy with. And we get back to the fun of horse racing.
Well, and Fred, you bring up a very, very good point. And we look at it, I know you know a lot about the sport of boxing, but with the different commissions in boxing, it's caused a lot of problems. And if you had a national commission, a guy like Mark, the horse racing version of Mark Ratner, someone who's respected by all the commissions around the country and could lead and have standardized rules, it'd be better for the bettors, the horses, the fans, the jockeys, and the owners. Fred, thanks so much for being on the show. As usual, you add levity and seriousness, an equal measure of both. Dennis, would that be a fair assessment?
That's fair. Thank you, Fred.
May we all win this Saturday in the Belmont. Thank you guys very much.
Thank
Bye,
you.
Bye, guys.
Well, Dennis, that will wrap it up for this season. Wow. We'll be back for the Breeders' Cup for sure.
I want to thank everybody that's been on the show trip. I want to thank Mark Klein, especially. What a golden find he was right there in Louisville. I want to thank Sue Chapman. She came on later in the season, but boy, when it comes to East Coast horse racing, she knows her stuff, and I hope to have her on again. I want to thank Jeff Culler for his contributions. And of course, H. Lee Spencer did a tremendous job. And you, Trip, are the best host there is in television or movies. You have the trophies to prove it. So thank you to all of you very much. And we'll be back again with more later in the year, as we will do a Breeders' Cup special for sure.
Okay. Thanks for watching. Goodbye, everyone. We'll see you next time.